Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Resurrected Nation of Islam. The name Allah, who came in the person of Master Prophet Muhammad, raised up Elijah Muhammad, his messenger, to prepare the way for Suleiman, messenger of the covenant. Welcome. Assalamu alaikum. Let's bring out audio audience. Welcome, audio audience. Black Alert segment, Fire Zone. Sisters and brothers, our topic today will be Lord of the Dawn, Part 2. Lord of the Dawn. First, let's have our remembrance, our constant remembrance. We shall not ever forget the horror that we endured. This land, these people, for over 400 years, Holocaust. They're doing everything they can, downplay it, to put it to disparage it, to minimize it. They don't want their children to know what they did, because they're the good people. They're the great people. They're the best people, right? They're the greatest examples of humankind. Then they got this history with the evidence. When the law is closing on you, first thing you want to do is get rid of the evidence, right? Think about it. Because the law is closing in on consequence. You ever heard of consequence? Closing on them. Because you don't get away with anything. There's no one ever has gotten away with anything. No one ever will. That's the fundamental principle of the universe, consequence. Now consequences put up with them. Like I said, when you see the law closing in on you, justice closing in on you, first thing you want to do is get rid of the evidence. We are the evidence. Think about it. Hard costs. They're trying to call it CRT, but no theory. Nothing theoretical about what they did to us. Nothing theoretical at all. But theory, that means it may or may not happen. To minimize it. They don't want their children to be told who they really are. And what their children be told, they want their children to believe this lie that, they're great people and they did no wrong, and somehow we invaded their country and they had to imprison us and all kinds of BS they coming up with. We was cursed by God to be slaves, so it was really good to us because they boys over here treated us better than God even did. Because God hated us and cursed us black, be slaves forever. They was kind. They boys over here civilized us and gave us Jesus. So the curse would go away. So we're going to heaven. So we make it to heaven, but we still be slaves there because we still be black. Holocaust. Slavery was just a small portion of it. Some sister said 10%, I think it's less than that actually. Very small part. Slavery. Look up slavery. It does not include what you see in that picture right there. Those you can watch the picture. Those you are audio audience, right? It does include rape, murder, torment, disembowelment. Does it include any of those things? Any of it? Castration, 24/7 terror, 365, 400 years times some estimates of 200 million of us. That including slavery? Look up the definition. No, that was Holocaust. 400 years of absolute horror. 24/7, total fear. There's a total fear. 24/7. There's nothing you can't even imagine what it was like. That root story, that's like a super whitewash of what actually happened. It was 1,000 times worse than that, if you can imagine that. Now, no let up. It's unrelenting rape. It's incessant, right? Even rape the men, toddlers. They didn't care. It was animals. Fed us garbage. We think chitlins is. That stuff you just throw away when they kill the hog. They said, no, we ain't gonna throw it away no more. We give it to them. Chitlins, as they called it. Now they take the S off and put a C there. Chitlins. And now you eat it willingly. We had to learn to live with it. That's all we had to eat. We made the best of it. But you don't need to eat that anymore, and now you still go to the store and buy it. The Holocaust. Don't let them fool you with this slavery stuff. It's a whitewash. Slavery doesn't include all the things: burning, rape, murder. There's no end to what they did. No end to what they did. No end. You can't even imagine it. But you'd have to be a beast to imagine the things they did. You'd have to be a beast. Stone cold, ravaged, raving beast to have any idea of what these people did. That's why the scripts call them beast. That's what they are. They haven't changed. Oh, well, that's a nice lion. We can get along with that. It's a nice lion. Yeah, you better not be around to get hungry. They're stupid. Are they okay now? After 40 years, they got rich and fat. Or for you, taking their anger and anxiety and everything out on you. They get pissed off at who you think was the recipient of that. You. Now they see the movies where they get mad, they go kick a table or something. No, they had you to kick. Your teeth out. Kick your eyes out. Rape through toddler daughters and have you teach them how to submit to rape. Come on, brothers and sisters. Holocaust. Holocaust. That's what it was. That's what it is. They're trying to minimize for race theory. They don't want their children to know what they did. Or they're hiding a lot. They're hiding a lot. There's still some things out there. I want you to understand that, brothers and sisters. We're going to move on. We ain't forgetting. We're not going to let them forget. 40 years, Abrahamic covenant. They've been trying to cover that up now. 1619 to 2019, 40 years, 2020 will be a plague that will kill the firstborn. It means the elderly and pass over us. Take my word for it. Just check World Health Organization, and they published a paper saying they didn't know why it was passing over Black Africa, Haiti. They won't say us because that's part of the scam to make us think that scripture has nothing to do with us. And we live in it. Yeah, well, man, history repeats itself. Oh, 1619, 2019, and plays start 2020, exactly like it happened, and doing exactly what it said, but that's history repeating itself? Okay. Okay, we got something for you. Okay, understand, bro. So we're going to move on to the topic here. But the Holocaust. See, I can tell you about no slavery economic system. See, we got some of our people slaving today in McDonald's and Burger King and Walmart, right? All these places, been in prison. They're making millions of dollars for the owners, and they get barely enough to even buy a meal. That's exploitation. Profit. Look at it. Think about it. Profit is by definition exploitation. That means they don't give you what you're worth. You go out and make $1,000 for them. They say, "Okay, boy, here's $200," and they keep $800. But you made the $800. You made the $1,000. That's exploitation. They say it's profit. That's good. Capitalism is profit. Capitalism is the greatest force in the world. Capitalism removed more people out of poverty than ever before. Moved them out of poverty. It impoverished the rest of the world. But they didn't find poverty when they burst out of Europe. You better read chapter 20 again. Talking about them in dark ages, 1,000 years. That's another one of their lies. They came out, they didn't find poverty, they didn't find disease, they didn't find tyranny. They brought it with them. They was escaping it, but the problem was they was what they was escaping. That's the irony of it. See? Because they thought, oh, well, I gotta get out of here. Because Europe, they turned Europe after 1,000 years, turned to a shithole. It was terrible. That's why I said dark ages. They even call it medieval. Think about that one. It was an outright shithole. Disease, tyranny, war, and persecuted. I mean, the whole 9 yards, all of it. And they were escaping, but they was what they was escaping. And they brought that all over the world, spread all over the world. How did they get this country? They stole it, and they killed its inhabitants. Genocide, and they brought us over here and destroyed us. That the devils would go out to kill, steal, and destroy. And you said, "Oh, they don't mean it that way." Oh, how does it mean it? That's the demons talking. Anyway, brothers, since we're gonna move on to a topic, Lord of Dawn. Again, this is the resurrected nation of Islam. Let me get you. This is verse. Getting that word wrong. They abuse you, right? Disabuse you of your misconceptions about the nation of Islam. It was not created by Messi, Elijah Muhammad. It was not a figment of his imagination. It's something he came with a nice word. If Islam has been here forever, it just fell. See? Universal catastrophe, energy deprivation. So we first fell at 5 to 50,000 years. We was in that situation and became very acute in the last 100 years. But we use everything to our benefit. We use it to purify ourselves, burn off all the weak links, calling like. We have some weak links. They will not survive this period. They won't survive the gravitational vortex. I know you don't understand that, but check my presentation. I talk about it. There's opportunity because we return, we come out of this. We come out as we went in angels. We come out of gods. We went in corrupt. We went in corrupted gold. We'll come out pure gold, pure silver. Understand, bro? Just move on to the topic. Hold on, bro. Okay, brothers and sisters. Lord of Dawn. Where we get that from? Let me show you this for a minute here. Show you something. First, let me just mention this. Worth mentioning. Then we get on to our I just want to bring this up. You know, they talk about salats. I want to see what the Quran say about it. There's a very important part of this in the Quran. And this, believe me, brothers and sisters, those of you not initiated with the 5 fundamental principles, mathematics was also 5 fundamental principles of Islam, based to you. This will help you. We're not going to explain all it, but contact people working with this with us, and they'll explain it to you. So they call it slots. You call it prayer. Now, this is a little read, hardly ever read by anybody. This is what the Quran says about it. Keep up prayer from the declining of the sun, the darkness of the night, and recite the Quran at dawn. And the recital of the Quran at dawn. So they're not talking about prayer like you're thinking about. It's on recital. It's on recital. See? As soon as they got all mixed up. See? Okay, let's go further. Surely the recital of the Quran at dawn is witness. Witness. Think about that as witness. That means Most High knows about it, right? But let me say it another way. Those of the what they call them, the elevated places, they know about it. But it's a little more than that. So I'm not going to go into detail about it. And during part of the night, keep awake by it, beyond what is incumbent on thee. Maybe that Lord will raise thee to a position of great glory. Think about that. Think about that. Beyond what is and during part of the night, keep awake by it. It's about reciting. It's about a lot of reciting. It says, promise. But it's a conditional promise. Maybe that Lord will raise thee to a position of great glory. They don't say that about the 5 prayers. They don't say that. They don't even mention anything like that about the so-called 5 prayers they're doing. They're about this. Right in the Quran. They relate recital to prayer. Because another place in the Quran says, surely recital is prayer. They give a more detail. They say, I think 1/3 of the night or 2/3 of the night or something like that. I'm not going to a lot of detail about it. That's the proper way. Because your idea of prayer, the idea they've given you, is totally all wrong. You never did anything like that 50,000 years prior. Never did anything like that. Go on knees and praying to some mystery god or something. Okay, let's look at it from a different point of view, and I'm going to move on. Those of you who are familiar with Messenger's teaching, Elijah Muhammad's teaching, he said that we once had the power to tune in. That means some of you call it telepathy, right? And we lost that power. He didn't say why, but it was due to energy deprivation, because you need energy for everything, and we had less energy, so we lost a lot of power that we had. So if you have that, and everyone's able to do it, and have cell phones and stuff, we just communicate with each other telepathically. Then why would you need to pray? Oh, because God's a spirit. See? Another BS. Because we know God is not. But Elijah Muhammad also told you God's a man. So if you put those two things together, you out there that's listening to Mr. Farrakhan, Silas, and all those liars, right? That they don't teach it like Elijah Muhammad taught anyway. But if you put it together, connect the dots, right? That means God's a man, and we all tune in. Then why you need to go and use and pray when you just call him up? As we can't call him up no more, right? Then we have this thing called, we have a different idea of prayer. See? Can't tune in, right? So we just go ahead and pray, hoping he can pick up on us, so we can't pick up on him. That's kind of like kind of ambiguous, but I just want to get an idea. I'm gonna move on, brothers and sisters. But see, next time I probably show the other part too, because the other part gives you more detailed explanation of this. But it says directly here enough, right? That the side of the Quran is prayer. See, we so far removed from where we initially were that things got confused. So you think everything is a mystery. You think God's a mystery. You think of spooks and spirits and stuff. The reason they gave you that to take you out of reality, because they know if you think reality, they will never defeat you. They'll take your mind out of reality, because your mind is a software, your brain is a hardware. They take your mind out of reality. What happened? Prior to 500 years ago, right? Most of the human race, right, was dealing with mysteries, things you couldn't see and hear, couldn't prove. Not all of them went. I mean, not some Christianity was even into space. They went another step. They went another step further into spirits and stuff. Right? But the Hindus, at least they had something you could see. Right? Buddhists, well, they had their idea, right? But the Christians took it to the next step. Spirits. But anyway, they took you out of reality. Because idols and stuff, they're not gonna come alive. They're out of reality. They took you out of reality. Because I call that separating the creator from his creation. Because everything you see created is reality. But your mind is divorced from that. Your mind is detached from reality. And that's how Adam, Europeans, gained power. That's how he broke out and was able to subdue the whole world. Why? Because they got connected with reality, mathematics. With mathematics, they got reconnected with reality. Well, they never was in reality. They got connected to reality. That's another story altogether. They got connected to reality. So they subdued every religion, including Sunni and all of them. They got them all on their knees because they're not reality. They're fake. They're prophecies. I mean, they're philosophies. So when they got in touch with reality, they defeated everybody. They're still defeating them. So they would defeat them until the God of consequence came, the God of reality, who told us would destroy them because he has a greater grip on reality than they do. His math is greater than theirs. You see UFOs, they call UFOs running out, they can't figure out. But they're mathematics. That's mathematics. That's another way of looking at it. That's mathematics. They can't touch. They go anywhere near. That's a sign right there. They tell you, we don't know how those things work. We have no idea. It defies physics. It doesn't defy physics. It defies their limited knowledge of physics. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. And that's what Yaqub said. He said he would maintain power because he was a god of the winter. About that in a minute. See? But when God of spring came, the god of dawn, right? He knew that he would be wiser than him, so he would destroy his whole reality. And that's what's happening. So once they got in touch with reality, then they defeated everybody, all religion, everything else, because we can't make a Buddhist car, you can't make a Hindu plane, right? You can't make a Christian fuel because you can't bring anything into existence based on those principles because they're fake. You can bring everything you see is born in existence from mathematics. There's nothing that has in existence that they have brought into existence that wasn't mathematics. They use mathematics to do it, even though they stumble around because they do it by experimentation. They don't have the mind to just do it. We can say be, and it is. They have this. Their whole basis of is based on experimentation and us. It's another story altogether. That's how they find out about things by experimentation. That's not we just think it and we do it. Once they connected up with mathematics, they subdued every nation. See? That's what Yaqub was saying in the Quran. He says, go Adam, tell them all their names. And they said, and the angels, Adam knew, he knew all their names. You don't talk about, Michael knew his name, Gabriel knew his name. They don't talk about that. They're talking about their DNA and all that kind of stuff. He taught them all of that. See? They kept falling from it. Now they endorse it. They reconnected. I guess I should say reconnected. They reconnected with it. I don't know. They connected with it. They subdued everybody. What is doing with? That's doing with the cross. They did under the banner of the cross. They didn't just do it with Christianity. They did under the banner of Christianity. They subdued it with mathematics. They go over to the Middle East. They drop a cruise missile up somebody's butt over there. What would they do? One thing they can say is all praise be to Allah, but they understand it because they say everything happens without Allah's permission. So if a cruise missile blows up in there behind, that means that Allah permitted it. That means that's what He wanted. And that's what they say. But see, there's no logic to what they say. You can't. That's why they say it don't make any sense. But you say that, that's totally in sync with what they've been telling people. There's nothing can happen but Allah's will. Right? So therefore, if a cruise missile blows in behind, it must be Allah's will. So they should say, "Oh, praise be to Allah. Thank you." They're supposed to be grateful. See, it's stupid. The only thing they can do, right, when Adam throws a cruise missile up there behind, is throw back some beans or the Quran back at him. That's not, how's that working? How is that working? You know what I'm saying? You gotta understand, brothers and sisters, don't BS. This is no bullshit zone here. Okay. Stop the bullshit. Move on, brothers and sisters. This is what I want to get to right here. Lord of the Dawn. Lord of the Dawn. How beautiful the Lord died. We've been waiting for the Lord to die for 50,000 years. We're preparing for him for 50,000 years. Dr. Shabazz started preparing for the Lord of the Dawn 50,000 years ago. Lord of the Dawn. That's when we coming out by energy deprivation. He knew we came out. We come out hard. What I mean by hard, I don't mean that we come out, but we come out tough. I mean a little way hard, but we come out messed up too. For the last 600 years of it, total horror. See, just like fire, hot, but it hardens you, purifies you. So it's hard both ways. We come out hard in both ways. Hard because all this crap we went through, hard because it made us so strong and so powerful. Some of us, those of us that not purified situation, being encompassed by a situation. Let's go on, brother. Lord of Dawn. Beautiful subject. Love it. This is what it says. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent and Merciful, I seek refuge in the Lord of the Dawn. Master Farad Muhammad. I seek refuge in the Lord of the Dawn from the evil of that which he has created. That don't mean him personally. Okay? About all the scientists together, but that's right there. From the evil he has created, from the evil of intense darkness when it comes. We just come out of intense darkness. 600 years of intense darkness, intense winter, the worst winter we ever went through, a 6,000-year winter, which have 4 seasons in an earthly cycle. Because the earth spins on an axis, so it produces a torque force, which is like an axis, right? It keeps it upright, keep from toppling over. Because the earth has the same function as a gyroscope. It spins, it produces torque. That torque is uprighting force. And that torque, right? It takes about approximately 24,000 years, 25,000 years to complete one 363-degree rotation. So we write history for that 20 to 25,000 years. Future history. And so you have 4 seasons, 6,000 years apiece, which comes to 24,000 years. So we just came out of the winter season where we got frozen. It's cold. Ice people. Sonification. You don't understand this thing, what I mean by sonification? Read my previous presentations, right? How there's no spirit world with us because we personify everything. So therefore, you can see it invisible. They tell you just the opposite. Everything is invisible. No. And the angel is proving that because the angel's revealing everything. It's revealing who the demons are, the dragon is, the jinn, the devils, right? All of it. There's no spooks or spirits. We're exposing all of it. From intense darkness when it comes, and from the evil of those who cast evil suggestions and firm resolution. That's primarily the demons. They're trying to get you. They're trying to get you to obey master and think that master's the only solution you got and forget about your past and right evil suggestions. Stay here with the devils. Devils ain't the devils. Like Farrakhan saying, that's the evil suggestion. Devils not devils anymore. And Master Muhammad makes it very clear that's who they are. He's not hiccuping about it. He says that's what they are, and they're impossible to live with, and they have to be all removed. Oh, and they're not devils, and he's kissing on everything else to prove the point. And they say, well, that one, he ain't no devil. See? When the evil of those cast, right, they're talking about demons there, all over the place. In the news, Hollywood, politics, right? The reverends, all of them. And they, by their very nature and action, that who they, it's just by who they are, their features is casting evil judgment, firm resolution. Because what happened? They presenting themselves as they're us all over the world. That suggests that that suggests that we are like them. Murderers, rapists, that's their fathers they like. But we get the hit because they look like us. That's another way. You got to look deeper into this verse here. See? Because they're casting evil suggestions, because they're suggesting that that's by their action, by the way they look, right? They suggesting that that's how we are. That maybe the devils are good, we just bad, we caught in all the trouble. We was cursed black. It's an evil suggestion. And to be slaves forever. See? Better read Abraham and Covenant again, bro and sister. Read it carefully. That belongs to us. And there's a reason why they call Abram. They're not Abraham. Why the Ham part is missing? Because Ham is who he's supposed to be. Who's the one that's cursed by Noah? Ham, son of Shem, be slaves forever. That's what Abraham comes about. So we're being enslaved and persecuted. So let me abuse you of this stuff about just slavery. Slavery is just the economic part of it. Because it was embedded within the persecution, affliction was embedded inside of slavery. They would just said they were being enslaved. They said slave and that. So that by saying that was just slavery, that's an evil suggestion. By them just being who they are. Because they present our image all over the world, but suggesting that's us. It's firm resolution because it looks it's like us. That's the firm resolution about it. Because how can you doubt that's them? How can you doubt that's us? Firm resolution. You doubt that's us. Unless you know what a demon is. If you don't know, then that's us. Acting a fool, being a clown, drug dealers, rapists, fornicators, crackheads and everything else. You got to understand these verses. Then that's the demon they're talking about right there. Farrakhan's a chief demon. He ain't going nowhere. That's an evil suggestion. You understand what he's suggesting there? He's suggesting that Elijah Muhammad and Master Muhammad are liars. Because Master Muhammad, his whole purpose of coming here was to remind us of the covenant and to certify it's going to be fulfilled. And they said Elijah remind us and to prepare us for Joshua that's going to take us home. But he's saying we ain't going nowhere. That means he called Farad a liar. He called Master Muhammad a liar. It's called Elijah Muhammad a liar. That's an evil suggestion. Evil suggestion. See? Evil. But he won't come out and say it. That's why I said it whisper in the hearts of men. A whisper. They won't come out and say it. That's what they suggest. So they don't have to come and say it. Because you say, well, hey, we ain't going nowhere. Then Elijah Muhammad and Master Muhammad is irrelevant. See, you don't have to say it. Suggestion registers with you. Then, from the evil, the envier, when he envies, oh, who is the envier? That means, envier means someone envious by nature, and we know who they are. When they came out of Europe, they had nothing. They went over the world trying to take from everybody else what they had. That's what envier does. They had nothing. It was poor, naked, disease. You name it. And they went out looking for whatever gift from everybody else. That's what they did. Took everybody else's stuff. They're the envier. from the evil. And what's the evil of envier? Action. You just being an envier, you don't do anything. But the evil of it is meant you take into action. That's what they did. They put it into action. When it's bottled up in Europe, right? They couldn't put it in action against themselves. Once that's what he's talking about. Because evil envier when he envies. That's the time now. Time when they come out and they start all over the world taking everybody's stuff and everything, beating down people, destroying, kill, steal, and destroy. When he envies, oh, that's two stages right there. Because there was envies when they came out. Now, what they're talking about right here, because this is the Lord of Dawn. That's that period, Lord of Dawn right now. So, therefore, the hellfires of hell is closing on them. Consequences closing. They realize it right now. They understand about 2019, 1690, 2019. That's why it's about critical race theory. Stop it. They don't understand all that. They don't want you to understand it. And they say that the fires of hell is closing in on them. And when false Israel goes down, they're going to have to admit that we the true seed of Abraham. That means that's total disaster for them in every sense of the word. Man's heart be failing with fear, anticipation of what's about to happen to them. Anticipation. That means they see it coming. They starting to see things coming now. That's why a lot of them are opioid and they're on drugs and everything else because they see what's happening. They don't know what to do. So now they're on drugs and everything else, suicide and everything else. That's why all that's going on. Crime and all that stuff's happening. So when it comes to the down, when they see it's clear that we're getting ready to leave here. Because remember the whole thing about this just true. It's not happening fast. Pharaoh, remember the plagues were designed to drive Pharaoh to drive us out of here. Then once he was overcome by those plagues, he's just going to take it anymore. He said, okay. Then he changed his mind and said, let's destroy him. So in other words, because he realized if we left, we're going to take his treasure with him, which is us. The gold and the silver, our creativity. That's another story together. You know, they would overcome them, and then they would take revenge of what they had done to them. Then they see we going into paradise, land, promised land, and they going to hell. That's going to be envy to beyond, envy off the page, off the scale. That's what it's talking about there. So in a few minutes, now they're going to envy you. Now say you're a true seed of Abraham. You're going to promised land. You're going into heaven, right? And you're going to have this great, beautiful future that they've been telling themselves they're going to have. They're going to heaven. They're going to do all this stuff. They realize that you are going to get all that. They only going to eat shit and set in flames. The envy going to build the chart. Envy will build a chart. And that's what I say. I said earlier, the only choice they got is rid of you. Think about it. Okay, bud, we're going to move on. I just want you to see that. Lord of Dawn. Bro. Okay, brothers and sisters, the Lord of Dawn. Why do they call him Lord of Dawn? For the 6,000 years, we have 4 seasons. 6,000 years that it's probably 6,000 years each one. That covers 24,000 year period I told you about. Earth changing this. Well, it's torque, but it's the act. So 6,000 years, like the regular season for a year, right? You have spring, summer, and winter. We just came out of the worst winter ever. Never been nothing like that again. Now Dr. Yaqub was the scientist or the God, that period. Now Master Muhammad is the God, this period. For the spring, he's the Lord of dawn. He's the Lord of dawn. He has the power to take down. He has power to take down Yaqub's civilization. The only problem is, he doesn't have the power to raise Lazarus. Why you have to have the Son of Man to step up. That's why you see in the Ancient of Days, plain Ancient of Days, that's not Farrakhan, because he has nappy hair, woolly hair. But the one that's like the Son of Man, when they say like the Son of Man, that just means right, he's one of the scientists. That's just another word saying he's one of the scientists. So you had the Ancient of Days, because the one that's coming on the clouds, that's Master Muhammad. He's not the Son of Days, because they say he's not the Son of Man, but he says he's like the Son of Man. He's one of the scientists. But who does he get the kingdom? Because he's the one that's going to build a kingdom, right? You got to connect the dots, right? He's the one that's going to build a kingdom, right? That's what it says. He gets the kingdom. He's going to build a kingdom that's going to last forever. That's Master Muhammad there. So who, and he doesn't have woolly hair either. So who is the one sitting down, Ancient of Days? Who is that one? That's definitely not Elijah Muhammad. So who is that one? Who is that one? He's a judge. So the judgment is set. That's time when the beast is given to the fire. So that means during this time now, when the beast of America is about to be destroyed. You got to connect the dots, put everything in context, get the right perspective. So who is that sitting on the throne? Who's that? Whose flames are? See, that had nothing to do with the mother plane. That means he's still in America, because you got to read Daniel. Remember, there was a fiery furnace, but it wouldn't burn. That's what that said. We're still in the furnace. See? But remember, in the furnace, once it was out of the furnace, then all the Chaldeans, they was thrown in. Chaldean, just another word for Caucasian in the Bible. They would burn up. That's it. And that's why the beast would be destroyed. First one set on the throne, right? That fire issuing forward. And it's many thousand, 10,000 times 10,000 was because he raised the Lazarus. And that's when the beast would be destroyed. Then what? Then one from the clouds come near to him, like the Son of Man. He gives him kingdom. So who is this giving all this? Master Muhammad, because he's the one we know. He's the one that's going to be, those you familiar with Elijah Muhammad's teaching, he's the one that's going to build the kingdom. That's what said in Angel. He's going to make all things new. So who is he giving it to? Who's giving it to him? One that just raised Lazarus. Because it says it was all ministering to him. He raised them. And said all these people was listening to him. See? He was ministering to all of them. Hundreds of thousands, millions. Because he raised them. First, he had to cast the thrones down. He had to cast down Farrakhan and them. That's what the thrones are cast down. They're cast down. So now he's sitting. And he raised Lazarus. Because all these ministers, they wasn't ministering to Farrakhan. Now they was all ministering to him. So it's millions doing it. Then that's when the beast was destroyed, being destroyed in the process of being destroyed. Right? And then the one from the clouds of heaven, that's Master Muhammad. He comes near to him and he gets the kingdom. He gets Lazarus and everybody else. Does it make sense, brothers and sisters? So who's that one sitting on the throne with lamb wool hair? Hey, there's an elderly person. Who's that? What the hell ain't Farrakhan? Think about that one. The one coming in the clouds said, Lord of Dawn. Lord of Dawn. Don't we love the Lord of Dawn? It's just in chapter 19 says, faithful and true. Faithful and true. It says, in righteousness he makes war. That's Michael. That's why Muhammad, the one who takes out the dragon. And his angels. And Magog. Just couldn't raise. Only Suleiman could raise Lazarus. He had to break the seal of the angel, because that's Lazarus' mind. Your mind's your software. Your mind's your software. The only one could open that software up break the seals. You know, you sometimes you get things, got to seal, got to break that seal. There's no one in the heavens or earth or under earth can do it but him. Master Muhammad never claimed to do it. And he never claimed he was a 25th scientist. He couldn't possibly be a 25th scientist because he says his father went and got information from all the other scientists. So he could teach him that if he was a 25th scientist, we have 360 degrees. We didn't have to go ask anybody anything. We just taught him what he knew. Plus, Master Muhammad was not self-taught. He says his father taught him. Master Muhammad said the God will come, he'll be self-taught. He always said, only one come after me is God himself. They just assumed they told Master Muhammad. Master Muhammad ain't come teach nobody nothing. He already done that. When he came to raise Elijah Muhammad, he's not coming to teach anybody anything. He's going to tear your ass up. He's the executioner. Reading there where he comes, is going to teach anybody anything. Only one teaching anybody anything is Joshua. Or you call him Jesus. He's the one teaching. That's the covenant. Well, this is very simple stuff, but it's okay. But those of you who haven't heard it yet, we got you. We ain't mad at you. We're going to blame those that have heard and do anything about it. They're going to pay for the blood that you're going to lose because of them. There's going to be a lot of bloodshed. They're going to pay the price. You better read scripture carefully, brothers. It said this is a new nation. This is the resurrection nation of Islam. We're going to raise. We're going to raise the last. We're going to raise them. Only one could even Masonic Masons. They tell you only Suleiman could do it. Suleiman is just another name for Son of Man. Where's sauce? They try to clean it. I mean, this Sunday thing. I don't even want to talk about those folks. You know, they try to cover all the bases. So they listen to this as exposing them. So then they come out. Oh man, but they try to explain what Son of Man means in Masonic. What soul is. How do you say the? I forgot. They got the old man. So they got, you know. That's what's happening, brothers and sisters. So Lazarus will be raised. The process being raised now. But it takes the angel to do it. That's your mind. It says in Daniel, your mind to be replaced, return to you. It also says in the book of Mark and other places, your mind to be returned to you. And that's what we're doing. We press it up. And pretty soon, you're going to upload. Right now, you can't reload because you've been turned to Negro butts 500 years ago. So your program is not to pay attention to this, not to listen to anything anybody says except master. Goes to self-destruct, a master's call, right? You be a master, you ask any questions, you do whatever master tells you to do. You don't think. That's what they program you to do. So the only thing we can do is short-circuit your program to the extent, because your programming, right, have you in the heart zone. That's why Christianity, all that kind of stuff, they appeal to your heart. They don't appeal to your mind, because your mind rejects all that stuff right away because it doesn't make any sense. But when they take down false Israel, and it's undeniable universally that you're true to Abraham and other factors that going to happen at the same time, you're going to short circuit your programming, zip, overnight, in an instant. It's like a deer on the road staring at the lights. Just staring there. It's going to get run up, don't know what to do. That's the situation you're in right now. So we're going to remedy that. Because when your heart knows fear, your mind does not. Your heart gets afraid, that's when it submits to the mind. That's when it says, to the mind, says, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? The mind doesn't know, it gets run over. So we put it out there. We put it on your memory. Because most of you are not going to pay attention. Those are listening, not going to pay attention, right? But it's be there. So when your mind, when your heart gets under this extreme fear, which is about to happen in a few more days, Master Muhammad is going to take down, drag his angels. Right? They're going to take out false. They're going to take out America and Britain. That's going to make our kick them out of the Middle East. That's the war in heaven. Then they're going to lay siege of false Israel, then take it down. Going to shock waves to the world. Going to shock waves to American. I say flee. When you say abomination, desolation, when you see in a place that should not be, we see Jerusalem surrounded by armies. Jerusalem is capital of who? Who controls Jerusalem? That means false Israel. Right there, you got a problem. Because it says, when you see that, their destruction is near. But they claim they're Abraham's seed, so that means that's inconsistent, because according to Scripture, once they return, they can never be uplifted, uprooted. This time they're going to be killed. So that means that proof that they're not true seed Abraham. That's going to send shockwaves to the world. That's what they're going to try to rid of you about choice. Because they're going to realize everything that's happening. Remember, in Egypt, all the stuff that's happening, all the plagues, was because of you. You was causing those things. You don't understand it, but it was because of you. It wasn't a mystical God doing it. When you understand it clearly, you was the one that's causing it, because of the pressure differential that's no store together. Because you was the one causing it. And then when they come to that realization, then they're going to say, because they're going to be at war at that time. Everyone in Europe. And the enemies, their friends have betrayed them. So they're at war with France and Russia, Germany, all of them. Don't turn against America. An insurrection here, it's going to send shockwaves. It's going to short circuit your programming. You're going to snap out of it. Then you go upload the engine. Once you address, it's over. It's over. Case closed. Once you get your right mind back, brothers and sisters, you're going to realize that everything out there you put out there. You're finally reconnected back to your creation. You was disconnected from your creation 35,000 years ago. They was trying, but it took 15,000 years to finally separate you from your creation and start this religious stuff, start philosophies and stuff. 15,000 years finally separate you from your creation. Then you didn't realize you was a creator anymore. You haven't for 35,000 years. And once your mind's been reserved for you. You finish this baptism, as the Bible calls it. And then your mind will be restored. And when your mind is restored, you're not going to recognize yourself. You're not going to recognize yourself, because you're going to realize you're God. Even when you was angels, you was powerful. Now you're gods, because you give it a mindset. You give it the mind of God. You came with the mind of angels. Now you're going to come back with the minds of gods. Gods and goddesses. And total control of the universe. Oh, how can we? You'll see. You don't see it now because they've given you a beast mind. You're lucky you can even talk. They didn't even permit that. So they told you to talk. And when you was incoherent anyway. Because your vocabulary is pretty much down to yes, master, no master, thank you, master, whip my ass, master, please don't whip me so much, master, but the more you whip me, I'm going to love you, master. Pretty much that was your vocabulary. Pretty much your vocabulary. You couldn't say you was tired, you was hungry. You get whooped for that, man. When you complain about me, you better get out there and pick that one out of cotton. Your vocabulary is very limited. See, if you restrict a person's vocabulary, you restrict their thinking, because you need vocabulary to think. You wouldn't permit even to think, because you're thinking it would kill you. And they knew you was thinking, because you didn't have the knowledge to understand what was going on. So if your vocabulary started increasing, they could tell that you was thinking, because you need vocabulary to think. So the more complex your thoughts are, the more extensive your vocabulary is going to be. Son, the Lord of the Dawn. So then the Lord of the Dawn comes and says, okay, sisters, the time, 50,000 year period is almost over. You only got a few more, a little more long. You got to endure Elijah Muhammad. And then you got to go through it. You got to go through the purification stage. The Farrakhan, he's the fire is going to purify you. You're tricked by him, then you lost. You deceived by him, that means you failed. He's the test. Every time you go to class, right, the teacher gives you a test to see how well you did. They're all flunked. Farrakhan, they all flunked it. It's hard to believe after Elijah went, they flunked Farrakhan. They did. They flunked dramatically. It's flunked them. Because anybody got two brain cells that can look together easy, see that man is alive. Follows the devil. All you got to do, just very simple things do. All you got to do is Google his bio. It tells you right there. It gives you a picture of his father. So how in the hell, if you understand anything Elijah Muhammad taught, Master Muhammad taught, and you read the lessons, that he could possibly be our savior? He's a devil. It says the devils are going to be limited, all of them. That's including the demons too. Demons half devil, half man, on their father's side. Because you are what you see, you are what your father is, because he has the seed. So your father's devil, that's another lie they tell you. You're just black. In other words, even though your father's Caucasian, you're still black. Well, why is that? You should be what your father is. Well, you black. In other words, if you ain't white on both sides, you ain't perfectly pure, thoroughbred white, then you a mutt. Then you must be black. That's not biology. That's not science. That's how they get the demons in on you. But it says the angel tells us half the black people in America are demons. That's why they causing all the confusion. They causing all the death, murder, rape. That's the nature of their fathers. It tells you the nature of their fathers because it said they are the flesh and we are the spirit. It tells you people are the flesh, right? They're murderers, they're envious, they're jealous, fornicators, and all that kind of stuff. And the people of the spirit, they're not like that. They got to cover up. They're working hard to do that. I want you to understand, brothers and sisters. See? Everyone's causing a problem. But we got the Lord of Dawn here, and we also got High Priest, 25th Scientist, because he's the only one who could raise the Lazarus. And once he raised it, he's the one on the Ancient of Days. That's why I call him Ancient of Days, because he's been here forever. He can bring things back like they were before 50. Ancient of Days, he's going to bring things like they were before the 50,000 years ago. Before that, he's going to take that and move it to the heights that you can't even imagine. Because they're going to get better and better and better every 50 years for the next 76 trillion years. Think about that. You can't even imagine how you would look 1,000 years from now, 2,000 years, how do people look back then. Dramatic. Lord of Dawn. It's said that they try to talk about that on Sunday too. The 5th scientist, 25th scientist. He's not looking, they say, well, he came out of hiding to worship. 76 trillion years of remaining incognito, he's going to come out because he want to be worshipped. I mean, it took him 76 years to find out to be worshipped. He didn't want to be worshipped. He came out because they need him to come out. The scientists asked him to come out. They actually don't want to use that word. But there was a little, what I'm going to use, clandestine in the way they did it. They'd draw him out. They said, we can't do it. Nobody could do it but him. And they know he's a hermit. He stays hidden. They know who he is. No public don't know who he is. They had to draw him out. That's why it says no one could break those seals but him. No one could break those seals but him. Not in the heavens, the earth, under the earth. No one could do it. You think that one on the throne that's had the book is God? Well, how in the world, if God wrote the book, how come he couldn't figure it out? How come he couldn't break the seals? That's Satan that's on the throne. That's why it says he had to come out of hiding, come out of his. Elijah Muhammad talked about that. He says this scientist, right? 25th scientist, right? He loves his privacy. He's a hermit. He stays hidden in the background. Scientists know because when their time comes to rule a particular season. Remember I said each season is 6,000 years long. Their time comes, right? They have to get certified with him, 25th scientist, because he has 360 degrees. They don't. And also, when they write history for 25,000 years, he has sign for it. Elijah Muhammad told you about that. Give his blessings. We have situations where some scientists rebel, like Lucifer. I'm not going to talk about it here. Maybe I'll mention it in a few minutes, but I hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Lord of Dawn. So now we're not under Satan's rule anymore. Satan only here because Master Muhammad allows him to be here. He's getting ready to take him down. We're under Yaqub's law anymore. That ended in 1948 when the Christ came on scene, an Antichrist. We're not under their rule anymore. Under their rule anymore. I mean, when I say it, I mean that under their rule as far as energy deprivation is concerned. We still had until 2020, complete 2019, a complete whole term. And make sure nobody say, "Oh, hey man, you said the one thing to know." Term, the 6,000-year term that Adam ended in 2020. 1948, end of our energy deprivation ended. And so therefore we went in a period of self-imposed energy deprivation where we're being deceived to stop us from gaining power. Because now we have energy, you need energy to have power, but you need external energy. You need more, like so-called, what they call it in money, you have how do you disposable income, right? You make after bills and everything else paid, you got this extra money. But after all your internal energy needs are done, then you have external energy. And then that depends on how this discipline you have, whether you convert it into power or not. Everybody has energy, don't have power. You have to have external energy. Internal energy will not give you power. That's how we lost power. Because 50,000 years ago, we started losing external energy. It took up to 600 years ago till we lost all external energy. Our power, once we know external energy, no power. So we had power, but it kept diminishing. We had no power 600 years ago because all energy we all needed for personal internal energy. So now we're regaining power, regaining energy, trying to keep us from converting into power. Once we convert into power, it's all over for them because we're more disciplined than them. So we have greater power than them. They have some power, but their power is declining. Why? Because they're losing discipline. Because righteousness, discipline is just a biblical word for righteousness. Because you apply discipline to your energy and you gain power. But if you don't, like a person that's got $1 million, but they're just blowing it off. I'm getting high, party, and everything else. Another person invests in it. We're going to stand, brother and sister. So they're trying to stop you from gaining power. I'm trying to show you how to gain power. I start when I took my slots at the beginning. That's part of it because it's five principles, fundamental mathematical principles of the universe. 5 of them. You apply them to yourself, right? Those 5, because you can have power. You can have imbalanced power. An athlete has power because they discipline themselves. They turn energy to power, but it's imbalanced power, right? Because it's not comprehensive. When you practice a 5 fundamental, it's comprehensive. So you have power, but discipline by emotions, right? It's discipline by discipline in the emotional area, in your economic area, in your physical area. It's balance. But like an athlete, he may be disciplined in his physical area, not in his mental area. He may be a total fool, but he may be power. In that sense, right? In the physical sense, it's just like a model, right? Miss America, whatever. Right? That's power because now they power in beauty, just this beauty sense. They may be crazy as hell, be illiterate. But the point is, from the beauty point, they know they got power because they're the most beautiful person in the world. That affects people, or in that sense. But we want balanced power. We have 5 pillars, and it's got 5 fingers. That's balanced. When you got 5, you got 1 in the middle, right? That's everything is balanced on that. Anyway, brothers and sisters, I don't think I'll have much more to say. I want you to understand. Lord of Dawn, he's here now. He's got his evidence, his power all over the world. Things flying around there. Him. They know what it is because Muhammad told me exactly what it was over 40 some years ago, 50 some years ago, before they even realized and they understand. But now they seeing they got pictures and everything else. They know what it is. They can't come and tell you that's your God. But if that's your God, he's an extension of your power. Because your God is your power. Your God is your power. What Elijah Muhammad said, God's power and force. That's Muhammad is your power and force. He's your general. He's your God. He's standing for you. He said, those that stand for Israel stand for us. They stand for you. They protect you. He's protecting you. He's your power. But you don't understand it. And he rejected, but we're going to do, he's going to remedy that. He's going to make sure shut your programming. It's so quick, it's going to happen instant. That's why I said, when a nation rise in a day, then you're going to accept your God. He's original, man. He got white skin. But his father's original. I mean, he's not a demon. He's your God. He had that body like that, so he wouldn't suffer any deprivation. So he had the power to do the things he needed to do. See, even with discipline, we still wouldn't maintain power unless we got external energy. And you didn't, okay, I'm not going to say it. Understand, brothers and sisters? Lord of Dawn. Lord of Dawn. So you got the Lord of Dawn. Remember the dawn. See, when it's really dark, cold, and the spring's dawn shows up, you see the light barely shine over the horizon. You see light beams shooting across the field, 186,000 miles per second. Blue beam, and that gets brighter and brighter and brighter. Oh, the night creatures, they start hiding, running, hiding, looking for some place to hide. Because the Lord of Dawn is here now. Oh, it's beautiful. He's bright. He's a bright, shining star. He's a 24th scientist. He's powerful. He's powerful. Lord of Dawn. He could have took down Paul's Israel anytime he wanted to take it down. He's waiting for Lazarus. Waiting for Lazarus to be ready. I don't want to do that. Suleiman. He's going to give a little helping hand because he knows there was a planning. And said those days had to be cut short or no soul would be left alive. That's not talking about conventional war. That's nuclear war. And they're flirting with that right now. They're flirting with it right now. No one can win a nuclear war, but it will not be a nuclear war, brothers and sisters. That's what they're planning because he's going to short circuit it. He's going to preempt it. That's what it says. It says in the sixth seal, right, that the figs, they fell before they was ripe. That's what I'm talking about. Because they complete their plan, that's why I went to action. That's it. Little help. Lazarus work a little faster. That's from him. I mean, Suleiman was going to raise him no matter what. Right? They didn't want to raise him up into a hellfire. That's why Muhammad's not going to let them irradiate the earth, destroy the earth. What's the point of a promised land if that's going to hurt desert, irradiated desert? And that's what will grow. And the only reason that land over there is covered with death, because we covered it with sand, protect it, so they wouldn't rape it like they will rape all other lands on the planet. So it's going to be blown away. Then you got land overflowing, milk and honey. But it's the same thing that makes, look it up, same thing that creates topsoil, creates oil. And where the most oil, they said the greatest oil supplies in the world is in Saudi Arabia. So same thing that produces topsoil, means produces topsoil. That means the topsoil under that ground is deep, very deep. When you blow the sand away, what yours, brothers, is the best part of planet Earth. You never be uprooted. But now that's the best plan. But when it's over, and the war of the latter days I talked about recently, that's over, the whole world is yours. The whole world will be in your submission, the entire planet. Not for the planet. Not for the planet, bro, since I week. Not for the planet. Understand, bro, since Lord of Dawn, he's here. He's magnificent. He got the whole world in awe. They sent Chinese and Russians, they sent planes up, fastest planes up at what you call UFOs. And they was destroyed. And with the other case, they couldn't catch them. And they caught them, they ended up getting destroyed. They was only caught them, but they allowed to be caught them. America does the same thing, but they won't publish what happened to their planes. Their planes got made the same fate. And they fly around, nobody can touch them. They go by all their military bases and neutralize their nuclear facilities. Because when America goes and pull that, because they're going to be on the war, China and India is going to invade on the West Coast in a few days. I'm pretty sure it's going to happen for the end of the year. Because when Babylon falls, there's 1 year all the destruction will come. So in other words, she's going to fall in a few more days. That's the war in the Middle East. See? So when she falls, within a year, she's totally burnt down with fire. So if she falls next month, in June, that means by next June, next year, America will be no more. No more. All the dawn. Coming to get you, brother and sister, take you home. But you need Suleiman to raise Lazarus. You need an angel to do that. No one could do it. Not even no one heavens, earth, or under earth. To God. Only 25th scientist because it's written in such a way that they'll straw together. The only one could do it. That's where it takes to raise Lazarus back up and give him the right mind back. Hope you understand, bro. That's pretty much it. For the dawn. How great, how blessed, and how lovely. Lovely. I mean, brothers and sisters, that's one of the greatest things ever happened in the universe. That's why Mama shows up on the shores of America. He didn't have to. He didn't have to. He's a scientist. He's a God. He had those wheels then. He had to come up in. That's why I call him faithful and true. Because they made a deal. The scientists made a deal with Dr. Shabbat 50,000 years ago, what you call Abraham. When I said about Abram and Ham, that's why he called that way. Because then after Abraham doing that covenant, he was only called Abram. Then Ham was missing. After that, it was called Abraham. It means those that they were calling Ham, us, back united, back home. So that's Abraham. I know you missed that one. The Lord of the Dawn. What they call him in the angel? Lord, and King of Kings. They call Suleiman King of Kings and Lord of Lords. They're not the same. One has to raise up Lazarus. Then he gets everything back to his master from. Why? Because he fades back in the background again. Because he's hurt by nature. He fades back in the background. Like scientists know who he is. Normal public don't know. He's here. He lives his life. It does in the background. Turns all over. So what happened to the Ancient of Days? He just died after he gave everything to Master Muhammad? No. He's hurt by nature. He's not looking to be worshipped. He's looking to be left alone. He's looking to be left alone. Because most of you wouldn't be able to understand him anyway. Because what he wants to talk about, you don't want to talk about. Right now, you talk about people, they want to talk about the bucks and the bears and all that stuff. Who the hell cares about that stuff? They got your program that care about that. When hell is breaking loose all around you, you're in the eye of the storm, hell is breaking loose all around you, right? And that storm is going to move in a second, and we're going to tear you apart. Because you think you're safe. Oh, man, everything's cool here. And when hell is raging all around you, and you're not paying attention to it, hell is literally raging all around you. It's getting worse every day. Have you seen anything getting any better in the last couple of years? Anything gotten better? Now they got to rise over this Roe v. Wade thing, and then the George Floyd thing, and now the baby formula thing, and now the Ukraine thing, and I mean, come on, and the food shortages thing, and inflation thing, and gas prices thing, getting worse, and crime thing, getting worse and worse every day, and you sitting there, oh man, you act like nothing's happening. But something is happening. I'm gonna put my people into our storm. Because once I get my people together, I'm putting iron and stone, because hell, is raised in America, not going to touch them. And then Master Muhammad's going to extract them. It says, Lord of Dawn. Oh, Lord of Dawn. It says, Michael. He's going to have a great prince that stands for your people. Archangel. He's going to deliver everyone found in the book. He's going to deliver all my people. That's in my book. Remember, because only Lamb can make certified. He has the book. He broke the seals. You have to certify who goes, who don't go. Then it said those sleep in the dust. Remember that, sleep in the dust. Some everlasting life and some everlasting. They're talking about people again. They ain't gonna buy two groups. They're talking about the demons. Demons already gone. We had to fight, but then we got rid of them. But then he says, some those that sleep in the dust, some everlasting life. Somebody think, well, they're devils. No. Some everlasting life, some everlasting shame. That's because they got to go through a tribulation period. Read Mark. See? But those, and also the Levites got to go through. That's Elijah Muhammad's followers, because they failed the Farrakhan. But the bottom line is that those that everlasting shame and appallment, those are the vipers. Those who stand against this message, pretending Elijah Muhammad's the last one and don't want to hear this message, because the blood of all our people is lost. That my people are lost for lack of knowledge will be on their hands. And that means they will have everlasting shame and appallment. I'm not going to go into detail about that, but Elijah Muhammad purchased this person that's going to run this super concentration camp, whatever, but they're not going to be put in hell. That's for the devils. We ain't going to do that to our people. But they're going to be put in a condition similar to hell. They're going to be in prison, like in a concentration camp or something. They will not get out. Their children will be let out if their children examined and deemed to be okay, that they could live amongst us. But they'd be tattooed. That they were sons or daughters, those folks that didn't stand up for this message. But this message, it's no way in the world you can miss this message, bro and sisters, unless you're a total idiot. We make it clear, we break the scriptures down. It said he would break the 7 seals. Nobody else broke the 7 seals. No one else can claim to it. You can see in 1948, the star that rose in the east, false Israel. They can see at the same time. You know? Many things there. He'd be gray-headed and woolly hair. There's a lot of things I could point out there. It's very clear. And plus be a free gift and you got to pay for it. So what was your objection? Because there's nothing your excuse you can make or make any sense. Especially not any other people, because Suleiman, he's a judge. But he says he's going to have a lot of small judges around him. They ain't going to hear it. They're going to say, well, you're the reason my mother didn't make it. You're the reason my daughter didn't make it. How do you think? They don't come with blood in their eyes and you come there with your excuses? No. No. You go into everlasting shame and appallment. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Leave it there. Second, brothers and sisters. Okay, to my audio audience, listening. Black Alert segment. Eyes on. Black Alert. You, brothers and sisters. My video audience. Again. Thanks for listening. Assalamu alaikum.